In the beginning of the drama, we are introduced to our drama male lead, Song. He is an exceptionally capable businessman who can take any company to the top. He believes that many businesses start and shut down in this world, but starting a business and taking it to the top are two very different things, and there is no business that I cannot take to the top. Next, the scene shifts to a gaming company named Joybuster. The current CEO comes and tells all the employees that another company is going to take over Joybuster. So, whoever wants to find their job somewhere else can start doing so. However, a voice of protest is heard from the back of the room. A woman stands up and says, "No, this cannot happen. We have given so many years to this company, and this is our drama female lead, Sumin." The scene then cuts to Song's company, where his team is actively planning the takeover of Joybuster. Next day, when Song is going to see this company, he learns from his secretary that it is a gaming company, and Song just says no, saying he can go to any company, but a gaming company, absolutely not. The next morning, as per the chairman's orders, he goes to see the gaming company. Upon entering Joybuster, he discovers that the company was once successful, but a girl, none other than our female lead Sumin, who is also the head of the game developer department. Just because of her, the company is in bad condition. He is told that during a critical project deadline for a video, she prioritized eating, choosing to enjoy honey pancake over her responsibilities, which allegedly caused a major setback for the company. The poor girl was simply eating a honey pancake, but that single moment of indulgence turns her life as bitter as a bitter gourd. Since then, she is now the target of all the shareholders' anger. They relentlessly chase after her, blaming her for their financial ruin and shouting, "Because of you, all our money is lost and we are ruined." Now, Sumin's condition is so bad that she has to roam quietly hiding her fate because all shareholders haunt her like ghosts everywhere. After learning all this, Song goes directly to the chairman and tells him that he will not go to Joybuster because it is a gaming company. Meanwhile, Sumin, doing her best to hide and protect herself, is on her way to Busan. On the train that evening, poor girl finally sits down and breathes a sigh of relief, when by chance Song sits directly opposite her. At this moment, Sumin has no idea who he is. Just as she is about to take off her mask to eat her food, Song opens his file. Inside, he finds the Joybuster report, which has been placed there by his secretary, who is no ordinary employee, but the chairman's own son, acting on his father's instruction. The moment Song sees the name Joybuster in the file, he shouts in frustration, "Joybuster? I will finish it for good." Overhearing this, Sumin freezes in panic. She thinks, "Is this crazy person one of the shareholders? My enemy?" Poor girl cannot even remove her mask and keeps staring at food. The next scene shows that Song has arrived in Busan and a woman named Ting is there to pick him up. From their conversation, it's clear they have a past relationship, but Song is now distant and shows no interest in her. Meanwhile, Sumin has also managed to reach Busan, still hiding from the shareholders. Then, she goes to a store to pick up some Joybuster merchandise, but when she arrives, she sees her company's banner being destroyed. She says, "Stop. Give that to me." Meanwhile, the young man responsible for damaging the banner is our drama's second male lead, Lee. The next day, Sumin goes to collect the banner, when her eyes fall on Song, who is there on other business. But to Sumin, it seems the shareholder ghost has tracked her down, so she tries her best to hide herself, but luck is not on her side. Song begins walking in her direction. Convinced he is coming to confront her, Sumin panics. Song, having noticed young AG, simply raises his hand to wave, but Sumin misinterprets the gesture, thinking he is about to strike her. She throws the banner on his face and runs away. Meanwhile, Song is shocked, wondering, "What on earth just happened to me?" As people rush to help the confused Song, our second lead, Lee, grabs the banner and runs after Sumin. He finds her outside, weeping. "Why are you crying?" he asks gently. The poor girl is too overwhelmed to explain properly, haunted by the shareholders who are chasing her like relentless ghosts. Sumin opens up and tells him the entire story that happened with her and the downfall of Joybuster. Hearing this story, Lee also becomes emotional and asks, "Do you have anywhere to go in Busan? If not, you're welcome to stay at my mother's guest house." Grateful for his kindness, Sumin agrees. Later, after they have settled at the guest house, they sit down for a meal. As they eat, honey is placed in front of Sumin, the very food that has seemingly poisoned her life and career. She tries to set her personal feelings aside and goes to enjoy the honey, but just then, Song appears right in front of her. She is terrified, as if she's seen a ghost, and Song immediately recognizes her as the girl from Joybuster. Seeing her scared, Lee asks, "What's wrong? Did you see a ghost? Sumin whispers, yes, it is the shareholder ghost chasing me. Hearing this, a heroic spirit awakens within Lee. He stands up and says, you'll have to go through me first. But Song says, who's here to fight you? But Lee tries to throw a punch anyway. However, Song, an expert in self-defense, easily dodges the attack, causing Lee to stumble and fall on his own. Song even offers a hand to help him up, but as soon as Lee is on his feet, he headbutts Song directly in the head. The poor guy, Song, collapses to the ground. In the next scene, he is shown lying flat on the bed, and their misunderstanding was cleared by Ting, who explained that he hadn't come chasing after Sumin and wasn't even a shareholder of her company. Now both feel terrible for beating him up unnecessarily. Afterward, they apologize through Ting and leave the scene. Meanwhile, after leaving, Lee and Sumin spend time together, and Lee realizes he is actually starting to like her. Sometime later, Song regains consciousness. Sumin had been calling Ting, hoping to talk to him and apologize, but Song tells Ting there's no need to answer their call. Despite this, chance keeps bringing Song and Sumin together. They run into each other once more at another company's game launch event. There, Sumin is in the middle of an argument with someone. Song arrives and, to her surprise, speaks up against her. This convinces Sumin that he is now targeting her to get back at her because she had hit his head earlier. However, when Song speaks with Tin afterward, we learn the truth that he was actually trying to help Sumin indirectly during the argument. The next day, when Song returns from Busan, he finds that his dad has passed away. Because of this, the responsibility for his stepbrother, Kim, whom he deeply disliked, now falls on him. While returning from his father's funeral with Kim, something suddenly shifts in Song's mind. He turns to his secretary and says, I will take over Joy Buster. Meanwhile, Song forcibly brings his stepbrother, Kim, to live with him. The moment they arrive, he tells him that there are some rules to stay here, and the most important one that he is absolutely forbidden from touching Monkey. It turns out that Monkey is not a monkey, but his turtle, which he loves more than anything else in the world. Kim endures this prison-like environment for a few days, but eventually his patience runs out. He takes his brother's money and leaves to buy a new game, because this boy loves games very much. By fate, Kim ends up at the shop owned by Sumin's father, where he is a regular customer. He goes to Sumin and places a booking for a very expensive, upcoming game. But as soon as he makes the payment, Song receives an alert on his phone. When Song sees how much his brother has spent on a game, he goes there in anger, beats his brother, and says he will get a refund. He then goes directly to Sumin's shop for a refund. When Song and Sumin see each other, they are both taken aback, instinctively taking a step back. Song approaches Sumin with his signature arrogance and says, I want a refund for this game. Sumin says, we do not give refunds like this for any game. Song begins to threaten her, lecturing that he will take the case directly to consumer court. Hearing this, she says, fine, fine. Since you are insisting so much, I will do you a favor and process the refund. The moment he hears the word favor, Song is shocked because he thinks he is the one who grants favors, not receives them. He coldly tells her, no one can do me a favor. Remember, I am Song. Saying this, he leaves. Meanwhile, Sumin thinks, is he crazy? While the whole situation was frustrating, Kim enjoyed it because Kim simply hands him the game and says, since you've already bought it, you might as well use it. Just don't do anything like this again. Kim is shocked, wondering, is this really my brother? Next day, Song lies in the bathtub like a corpse, thinking about Sumi. Just who is this girl who dared to say she was doing me a favor? Frustrated, he finally tells himself enough. Stop thinking about her. The next day, Sumin arrives at her company. Today is the day their new CEO is set to make his entrance. She was a bit late, and her friend whispers, look, our new CEO is so handsome. Sumin opens her eyes and sees Song standing in front of her. She says, wait, my eyes must be playing tricks on me. Let me check again. But after looking again, it's still Song, the new CEO of their company. Sumin is shocked. When Song looks at her, she instinctively tries to hide. But then she gathers her courage and, finally, she goes to talk to him and says, excuse me. Meanwhile, Lee is also present. He says, Sumin, so this is your company. While Song interrupts and says, look, I have no time, but I want you to know, when I met you in Busan, I already knew you. Lee tries to speak, but Song says, stay quiet and stand there. Then he tells Sumin, we will talk later, and leaves. Sumin is still confused, trying to process the shock of what just happened. Before she can fully recover, the new boss calls for a meeting. As the head of the game development department, Sumin has no choice but to attend. Meanwhile, in the meeting, Mr. Song asks all the employees for progress reports on their game. He quickly realizes that no game is fully complete. Some are at 20%, others 40%, a few at 60%. Then he says, stop development of all games immediately. Sumin is shocked, thinking, what is he saying? Is he out of his mind? On top of that, he says, from now on, we are cutting all ties with Next Viper, our investment company. We will fund our own games and keep the profits. Sumin is horrified, thinking he's truly insane. If Next Viper pulls out, the little that's left of this company will sink completely. A heated argument erupts between them. However, Song is the boss, and Sumin's protests are ultimately overruled. Defeated and frustrated, she walks out of the meeting. Later that evening, the CEO calls for a team dinner. Everyone arrives, only to discover it's another meeting disguised as a party. Papers are handed out, and everyone's mouth drops. But Sumin, ever the revolutionary, stands up and confronts him. Boss, did we come here for a party or a meeting? Song says, we can have a meeting while eating. Hearing this, she says, we came for a party, so enjoyment is important. Then the argument starts again. Song angrily snaps, Miss Sumin, don't you think the company's condition is bad? Secretary Park quietly tells Lee, when the boss uses that tone, people usually fall silent. But Sumin says, Mr. Song, we came here to eat and party. Hearing this, Song is shocked that someone can talk to him in his own style. The Secretary Park and other employees watch the Song versus Sumin match, enjoying the spectacle as they argue over the importance of partying versus working. Finally, after a long debate, Song says, so tell me, what is enjoyment for you? She says, boss, sing a song for all of us. She then tells all employees, and everyone cheers, yes, boss, sing for us. Song is surprised, and even his secretary is shocked too, seeing something like this for the first time. Song shouts for quiet, accusing them of trying to belittle him. As everyone sits in scared silence, Sumin gathers her courage and stands again. Boss, today is my first day. I'm scared. If you sing, it will give me, and all of us, the courage to believe our company will not sink. Everyone is scared it might be her last day, but Song stands and says, fine, I will sing for you all because I am Song, the CEO of this company, who can do anything. Then he leaves, leaving everyone stunned. The next scene reveals he wasn't bluffing. A full rock concert stage is set up outside. Song makes a superstar entrance in a cool hoodie and delivers an incredible performance that leaves everyone, especially Sumin, in awe of his hidden talent. The employees are happy, and Sumin realizes her mistake in judging him. As Song tries to leave after making his point, Sumin stops him and says, I need to talk to you. Song says, you said to sing a song, and I sang. You didn't have to listen to me. She insists, let's go inside. I want to apologize for before and now. But then Song says, why should we go inside? Apologize right here. Sumin says, let's go for drink. Otherwise our relationship will be ruined. Hearing this, he says, what relationship? We're not girlfriend and boyfriend that our relationship will be ruined. His cold words only make Sumin angrier. The scene then cuts to the next day. At the office, Song is heading out to see the new office location, and Sumin decides to accompany him. Meanwhile, on the way, Sumin tries to show him several new game proposals. However, Song dismisses every single one, calling them unimpressive and useless. Frustrated, Sumin asks him angrily, do you even know anything about games? Song replies, I hate games. Hearing this, she says, then how can you become a CEO of a gaming company? Then Song says, why? I can be the CEO of any company. Just watch how well I run this gaming company. Sumin says, you don't even know how to play a game. How will you run a gaming company? Song says, with full confidence, I could easily beat you in a game. And with that, a bet is set between them. They will settle the matter by seeing who truly wins in a game. Afterward, they arrive at the new office site. While Song is busy inspecting the location, Sumin spots some sweets and begins to eat them, not knowing that a swarm of honeybees had been attracted to the sweets and starts to go after her. Sumin runs for her life as the bees chase her. From a distance, Song and the other employees see Sumin running towards them, pursued by the swarm. Reacting instantly, Song sprints toward her like a superhero, scoops her up into his arms, and jumps directly into a nearby pond to escape the bee. In the next scene, we see both of them coming out of the pond where Song is barely conscious. When he finally comes to his senses, he sits alone, replaying in his mind what had happened underwater. So actually what happened was that when they jumped in, Sumin began to struggle and ran out of breath trying to surface. Song had to pull her back down because the bees were still swarming above them. In his frantic attempt to give her oxygen, he ended up kissing her. Meanwhile, Sumin comes and sits beside him and asks, if you can't swim, why did you jump in the water? Song doesn't say anything. Instead, he asks, my blood group is A. You won't have any problem, right? Sumin is confused and says, what kind of problem? Song says, I have no allergy or anything. Hearing this, Sumin says, are you saying all this because of what happened in the water? Because of the kiss? Song says yes. Sumin bursts out laughing. At least tell me you weren't sick. He persists. You were having trouble breathing. Are you seriously asking me this? She says. Song says, of course, so many diseases are spreading. What if I caught something from you? He then says, I was joking because the situation was tense, and leaves. Sumin mutters to herself, that was his joke? Is he crazy? After that, as they were about to leave, Song receives a notification on his phone. His brother, Kim, has just bought another expensive game. Song gets very angry and tells Sumin, fasten your seatbelt, and then proceeds to drive the car like a rocket, speeding recklessly. The poor Sumin gets very scared. She thinks to herself, he's not going to let us survive today. Soon, they reach his home. Song tells her to stay there and storms out to confront his brother. He was in a rage. Kim, frightened, fell to his knees and says, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to buy the game. But today, Song's patience had run out. He forcibly throws his brother out of the house. Now he goes behind his brother saying, please, don't throw me out. Meanwhile, Sumin was still downstairs. She recognized Kim and asked, what are you doing here? When she sees their situation, she asks, are you two brothers? Hearing this, both say together, brother. Absolutely not. Kim keeps requesting his brother, but Song ignored his requests, leaving him behind as he walked away. On the way, Sumin says, please, take me to my house. I need to change my clothes. Song drove her to her home, but stopped at the gate, refusing to enter. He believed it was improper to just walk into someone's house uninvited. After Sumin had changed, she came back out and said, you smell like pond water too. Here, you can change into my father's clothes. Song, after showing some attitude, takes the clothes and goes inside to the bathroom to change. Just then, Sumin's father arrived home. She panics, thinking, there's a man in the bathroom and my dad is here. What will happen? At that exact moment, Song opened the bathroom door, tossed his wet clothes out, and asked, do you have a dryer? The moment her father sees a half-dressed stranger in his house, he yells, you shameless man. What have you done to my daughter? And starts beating him. Sumin tries to stop her dad, saying, Dad, stop. Don't hit him. He's the CEO of my company. Her dad shouts CEO. So he uses his power to take advantage of his employee? I won't let this go. He then slaps him on the back so hard that the poor CEO is knocked out again. Later, he discovers the truth that Song had jumped into the pond to save Sumin from the bee swarm. Now, Shin's dad was putting medicine on his back and also saying sorry and thank you for saving his daughter. Song replies, okay, forgiven. Later, in the car, Sumin also apologizes, please forgive me. My father isn't usually like that. Then Song forgives her too. When they arrived at the company, they proceeded with their bet. The two of them sat down for a gaming battle, and the entire office gathered to watch the match. Lee even hit Song on the back to cheer him. Unfortunately, he hit the exact spot where Sumin's father had injured him, causing Song to flinch and grit his teeth in pain. Anyway, the battle starts, and to everyone's surprise, Song defeated Sumin with ease. Sumin is shocked and says, this is cheating. You must have cheated. But Song simply says, I won the game. Now go and do your work. He goes out. While Sumin and the others wondered, how can someone who doesn't even like games beat me? Then his secretary Park arrives and tells them, I admit boss doesn't like games, but once he decides on something, he becomes its champion. On the other hand, Song, while playing the game, remembers his dad and how he always took care of his little brother. Thinking about him, he becomes emotional and goes alone to eat. By coincidence, Sumin also arrived at the same restaurant. She walked over to his table and asked, can I eat here with you? Song says, no, go away. But Sumin wasn't going to leave. She sits there and even orders drinks and offers Song. But Sumin had no intention of leaving. She sat down, ordered drinks, and even offered one to Song. Song, who was already in a low mood, started drinking with her. This was the mistake. He can't handle his alcohol and ends up drinking far too much. Then they leave to go home. The next morning, Song woke up and was surprised to see his brother, Kim, cooking in his kitchen. Seeing him, Song says, how did you get in here? Kim says, you forgot? You brought me in last night. But Song has no memory of what had happened after he started drinking. As they sat down to eat, Kim asked, you remember, right? That girl came to drop you off last night. Song says confidently, of course. I remember everything, even though he actually remembers nothing at all. Next we see Song arrived at the company. Sumin grew nervous the moment she saw him. While they were discussing office work, Sumin asks, You got home safely last night, right? Song wonders, was it her? Was she the one who brought me home? But before he could ask for details, Sumin quickly walked away, leaving him even more perplexed. Song realizes he has to remember what happened last night. He tries to recall, but nothing comes to mind. He couldn't focus on his work, his mind completely occupied with the previous night. After thinking hard, he goes straight to Sumin and asks indirectly about the bill from last night. Sumin asks, CEO, you don't remember anything, do you? He insists, no, I remember everything. You didn't pay the bill, I did. Sumin smiles and says, now it's perfectly clear you remember nothing. Neither of us paid that bill. Yes, I know. I was just checking to see if you remembered, he said, before quickly walking away. In the next scene, Song asks Lee to go to the next Viper company and cancel their contract. Lee agrees and heads to their office. But the people there were very smart. They initially refused to cancel the contract and tried to manipulate Lee with their words. Finally, they presented him with 2 harsh conditions. We will cancel the contract, but you must either pay us 3 times the total profit you've earned from our investment, or sell us your most popular game, Big War. A panicked Lee called Song to ask what to do. Song, after a moment, replied, okay, we'll sell Big War. Finalize the deal. The next scene reveals that Song had secretly sold Big War to Next Viper without announcing it to the company first. Lee is deeply troubled and tells Secretary Park, Sumin must not find out. This game means a lot to her. She'll be devastated. Hearing this, Secretary Park also agrees. Later, Sumin joins Lee and Secretary Park for a meal. Park, who had been warning Lee not to tell Sumin about Big War, accidentally reveals the truth while he is drunk. Hearing this, Sumin gets very angry and left. Just then, Sumin arrives at his house. When Song goes down to meet her, she says coldly, we need to talk. Seeing her angry, Song immediately assumes she is there about the incident from the previous night. He starts apologizing, saying, it was my mistake, please forgive me. Sumin thinks he is apologizing for selling Big War game. Their misunderstanding is not cleared up, and Sumin leaves saying, now you won't be able to fix your mistake. Song was left wondering how he could possibly fix a mistake he couldn't even fully remember. Back at home, Song is arguing with Kim when he receives a call from Lee. He says, CEO, Sumin isn't answering her phone. She came to see you, right? Worried, Song immediately goes downstairs. He sees her sitting a little distance away. As he is walking towards her, Lee arrives first and apologizes to Sumin, but she says, it's not your fault. We are just employees following his order. From a distance, Song watches as Lee steps forward and hugs Sumin to comfort her. Seeing this, Song feels hurt, but he doesn't understand this feeling. The next day, the office has moved to its new location. Late at night, Song and Sumin are the only ones still working. Suddenly, a scream echoes from downstairs. Song rushes down to save her, but Sumin points and cries, a mouse. He immediately freezes and crouches down, looking more scared than she is. She asks, will you save me or not? Song says, absolutely not. We should stay away. They can carry diseases. Sumin realizes that he was scared himself. Suddenly, the mouse runs past them again. Sumin screams and jumps back. She trips and falls against Song. He catches her without thinking. Now they are standing very close together, both scared of the small mouse. Trying to regain his composure, Song uses the moment to apologize for the other night. He explains, because of the drink, I became a bad person, but that's not who I really am. Sumin gets angry and says, no, you are a bad person. That's why you sold my Big War game. Hearing this, Song gets surprised and asks, how do you know Big War was sold? Sumin says, are you still drunk? Last night you were apologizing to me and promising to fix your mistake. Song then clarifies, I was apologizing for what happened between us that night, not for selling the game. That was a management decision. Hearing this, Sumin becomes very angry. She pushes Song, and he hits his head. In the next scene, Song is lying in a hospital bed. Secretary Park comes and tells Sumin, you should not have hit his head. They were just talking when they hear Song's voice. Go away. Let me sleep. He tells Sumin, okay, you showed your anger. Now we are equal. You can go. As Sumin is leaving, Park tells her, the boss is not a bad person. Whatever he does is best for the company. He also says that Song has already explained his reasons to all the workers on the company's website. Hearing this, Sumin realizes she was wrong. She understands that she overreacted when she hit him. The next day, the Joy Buster team is excited. They are ready to work hard and make a new game to save their company. But when they turn on their computers, they see a warning message. Song finds out that Next Viper is causing the problem. They have blocked a very important software that Joybuster needs. Song goes to the Next Viper office and asks them to give access, but Next Viper refuses, saying, "Your contract with us is finished. The access is gone. If you want it back, you must sign a new contract with us." Song is angry, but he doesn't argue. He goes back to his company and tells his team, "Don't worry, we will handle this software problem ourselves." The team is worried. They tell him, "We don't have enough time or money to do that. The company is in big trouble." Then Ting arrives and pulls Song away from the office to go to dinner. While they are eating, Song gets a phone call from Sumin. She tells him, "I have found a way to fix our problem. Please come back to the office quickly." Ting hears this and gets very jealous. She shouts at Song, "Why are you always spending time with that girl?" Hearing this, Song says, "She is my employee. I have to work with her." He then leaves the restaurant to go back to Sumin. This makes Ting even more angry. Sumin tells Song about a coding expert named Fing who can help them, but the problem is they don't know where he lives or his phone number. Song works hard to find information. He discovers that one of their company's shareholders knows how to find Fing. They find the shareholder. Sumin is shocked to see it is the same man who was very angry with her before. She is very nice to him and finally gets the information they need. The shareholder tells them that Fing is a super fan of a famous girls' music group. The best way to meet him is through them. Getting this information was very difficult because Song drank too much again and was acting very strange. Sumin is very troubled by his behavior. Now, Song knows that only Ting can arrange for the girls' group to come, so he goes to her and asks for help. Ting agrees, but on one condition: that you must stay away from Sumin and only talk to her for work. Nothing else. For the good of the company, Song agrees to her condition. Song made a plan. The girls' music group would come and Fing would meet them. Fing arrived at the place, wearing a mask to hide his face. Sumin and Song were ready, but Ting was too jealous. She did not send the girls' group. When Fing realized the group wasn't coming, he decided to leave. Song chased after him on a bicycle. During the chase, Fing had a car accident. Back to the restaurant, Ting arrives there. Sumin asks her, "Why didn't the girls' group come?" Ting gets angry and blames Sumin for being too impatient. Sumin is confused about why Ting is shouting at her. Then, Song arrives. Ting tells him, "Look how rude this girl is to me." But Song says, "No, you are wrong. You should have sent the girls' group on time." This makes Ting very angry. She slaps Song across the face and leaves. Everyone is shocked that she slapped the CEO. Later, a flashback shows what happened after the accident. When Fing had his accident, the girls' group had already arrived. They saw him and came to help him. They made sure he was not badly hurt. Fing was so happy to see his idols. They were so kind that they even went with him to the hospital. This made Fing so happy that he agreed to help Song with his work. Meanwhile, Sumin apologizes to Song, saying, "It's my fault Ting got angry and slapped you." Song tells her, "It's not your fault. I think Ting just doesn't like you. We had a deal about it." Sumin gets angry and says, "Am I part of your deal? Am I some kind of love game for you too?" She tries to leave, but Song grabs her hand to stop her. Sumin pulls her hand away and leaves him there, feeling upset and frustrated. The next day, Song calls Sumin to meet him. Sumin is surprised. She says, "I didn't think you would call me here." She reminds him, "You made a rule that we can't meet outside of work." Song wanted to fix their strange and uncomfortable relationship, but Sumin was still too angry. She tells him, "Our relationship will just stay awkward." And then she leaves. Sumin won't talk to him. Song is troubled. He goes to his secretary, Park, for advice and asks, "What gift should I give a girl?" Park teases him, saying, "Oh my brother, you're in love. You came to the right person." Hearing this, Song says, "Just tell me what to do." But even Park cannot give him a good answer. Song then goes to Lee and asks, "You're good friends with Sumin, right? So, what is she like?" But even Lee doesn't know what she likes. Later, Lee decides to just ask Sumin directly what she likes. She tells him, "There is a very rare, limited edition game. I have wanted it for a very long time." Lee now knows what to look for. At the same time, Song also finds out about this game from his own sources. Now, both men start searching for the same game, determined to get it for Sumin. They both find out that only one person is selling that special game. Later that day, Song decides to leave the office early to find it. As he is leaving, Lee sees him and asks, "Boss, can I leave early today too?" Song says yes and gives him permission. They go downstairs and realize they are both going to the same place, so Song gives Lee a ride in his car. When they arrive, they both walk toward the game cellar. There, they see each other and understand they are both there for the same reason. They start running toward the cellar, and the seller gets scared, thinking they are going to hurt him. When they reach him, Song and Lee start arguing about who reached first. Song says, "My foot got here first, so I am the winner." Lee says, but I ran faster, so I am the winner. The seller gets frustrated and says, stop. If you want the game, you must each pay half the price. Otherwise, I will not sell it to anyone. They agree and they both pay half the money and buy the game together. Later, they sit down to decide who will keep the game. They both know they want to give it to Sumin. Song asks, why do you want to give this game to Sumin? Lee says, because I like her. That's why I want to give it to her. Hearing this, Song is very surprised. Then Lee asks Song, boss, why do you want to give it to her? Song says, that is my personal business. I will not tell you. Song then has an idea. Let's play rock, paper, scissors. The winner gets the game. Lee says, boss, let's not play a children's game. You can keep the game. I will find another gift for Sumin that she will like. Saying this, he leaves. In the next scene, Song gets a call from his secretary, Park. Park says, boss, I have arranged everything for your date with that girl. Just show up tomorrow and enjoy your date. Song trusts Park and goes to the place the next day, but he is shocked. Instead of Sumin, Ting is there waiting for him. She says, you need to apologize for what happened the other day. Fine, I forgive you. Now, quickly give me the gift you worked so hard to find for me. Song is shocked again. Ting, like a greedy cat, snatches the gift box from him and keeps it for herself, saying thank you. Song is devastated. He had worked so hard to find that gift for Sumin. Furious, Song goes to find Secretary Park. Park was on a date with his own girlfriend. When he sees how angry Song is, he knows he made a big mistake and tries to run away. Song catches him and says, if you don't get that game back for me, I will push you into the water. Park says, I'm sorry. I thought the girl was supposed to be Ting. Song says, that game was for Sumin, so you will get it back from Ting and return it to me. In the next scene, Song is at the office. He sees that Sumin is still avoiding him and won't talk to him in a friendly way. Later, as Sumin is leaving to go home, Song stops her and asks, how long will you not talk to me? Sumin says, I am talking to you, but not in casual, comfortable way. Song asks, Hen, will you be comfortable enough to joke around with me again? Sumin says, I am perfectly comfortable now, but that doesn't mean I will make silly jokes with you. Song asks, then what do you want from me? Sumin says, I want you to stop teasing me unnecessarily from now on. Hearing this, Song agrees and says, okay, go home, and lets her leave. Later, Sumin is going home with Lee when he asks her, did you ever get that special, limited edition game you wanted? Sumin replies, no. Where would I get it from? Then Lee tells her that boss bought it for you to give it to you. Sumin is shocked. She says, wait, boss was going to give it to me? But he hasn't yet. Later, Sumin goes straight to Song's house. Song asks, why are you here? She replies, I didn't come to see you. I came to meet Kim. Using this excuse, she walks into his house. She starts looking around the room, trying to find where he hid the game. Song sees her and says, just tell me straight, why are you here? Sumin replies directly, you bought that limited edition game, right? Please sell it to me. I need it very much. Hearing this, Song immediately points to the door and tells her to leave. He says, I don't have that game anymore. I already sold it to someone else. Sumin becomes very angry. Sumin also tells Song she came for another reason. She says a famous live streamer can promote their new game. When Song asks who the streamer is, Sumin tells him it's his own brother, Kim. Kim became very famous by doing live streams with that popular streamer friend. Song says, I'll handle this. He goes to his brother and asks him to promote the game, but Kim directly refuses to help. In the next scene, Ting finds out the truth. She learns that the gift Song gave her was really meant for Sumin. She gets very angry and throws the game straight into the trash. Meanwhile, Song goes to Ting to get the game back. Ting is hurt and asks if it was never for her. Song admits it was for Sumin. Ting says, don't you see why I always help you? Because I want our relationship to be good again. On this, he says, I'm human and I can't force myself to love anyone. Heartbroken, Ting lets him go. When Song gets home, his brother Kim tells him that his turtle, Monkey, has died. Song is devastated because Monkey was the last memory of his mother. Song brings Monkey to the office to collect a few of his things before burying him. As he prepares for the burial, he is overwhelmed with grief and begins to cry. Sumin, who is just leaving the office, notices his parked car and sees him crying. She stops and watches him from a distance, her heart aching for him. When Song stands up to leave, he notices Sumin standing there. Sumin says, forgive me. Maybe I shouldn't be here. Song replies, no, it's okay. Seeing his tears, Sumin doesn't hesitate. She steps forward and hugs him. Song hugs her back and cries heavily into her shoulder. At the same time, Lee arrives at the office. From a distance, He sees everything. He sees Song and Sumin holding each other in a close, emotional hug. Watching this intimate moment, Lee Chul's heart breaks. He realizes that Sumin's feelings are for Song. Later, Song finds Kim removing Monkey's things and gets angry. Kim shouts back that he is also alone and misses his father. This makes Song realize Kim's pain. He finds Kim and tells him, "We are not alone. You are my family." Finally, the two brothers truly accept each other. In the next scene, Kim and his famous streamer friend come to Song's company. Together, they successfully promote the new game. Next we see, with only 2 days until the game's launch, the rival company, Next Viper, plays a dirty trick. They pay extra money to secretly book and steal the venue Joy Buster had planned to use. The team panics, wondering where they can now hold the launch event. Song has a brilliant idea. Why don't we launch the game right here in our own company? Everyone agrees, and they quickly begin transforming their office into a launch venue. The preparations go well, but the day before the launch, Sumin feels very stressed and anxious. She sends a message to Song saying she is nervous. Song reads her message and immediately calls her. When Sumin realizes he is coming to see her personally, she gets extremely excited, even thinking carefully about what to wear. When they meet, Sumin asks, "Did you come here just for me? This feels like a dream." Song tells her, "Before any big day, I used to talk to my turtle, Monkey. It calmed me down. Now that he's gone, the only thing that gives me that same peace is talking to you. That's why I came, because you said you were nervous." Sumin says, "Okay, then from now on, I'll be the one you talk to before any important day." The next day, the game launch at their company is a huge success. Everyone celebrates, and Sumin and Song are visibly happy together. Seeing their closeness, Ting finally accepts that Song's heart belongs to Sumin and decides to give up on him for good. In the next scene, Ting goes to Sumin and returns the limited edition game, saying, "This was meant for you from the beginning. You should keep it." Sumin is surprised and happy at the same time. She asks where it came from. Ting tells her it was Song who got it for her. Sumin keeps the game. Meanwhile, we see that Joy Buster, their company, is now running successfully. Song's mission to make Joy Buster successful has been accomplished. Now, it's time for Song's farewell. He is leaving the company to join another one, and Sumin will be the new CEO. They say goodbye to each other. They want to say more, but they can only say the word goodbye. Song leaves, looking back at Sumin one last time. A few months later, Song and Kim visit their father's memorial. Song steps away for a moment. Kim comes out and sees Sumin there. Her mother's memorial is in the same place. Sumin asks, "Your elder brother must be here too?" Kim replies, "Yes, but he went out for some work." As Song and Kim are driving home, Kim says, "I saw Sumin there. She left just 5 minutes ago in a red car." Hearing this, Song drives his car very fast to chase the red car. He forces the car to stop, but then a group of thugs gets out of the car. They grab Song and threaten him. Sumin sees this from her own red car nearby and shouts, "Stop. That's CEO Song." The thugs let Song go, realizing their mistake. In the next scene, both Song and Sumin are alone. Sumin asks why Song never called her. Song explains that he deleted all his old contacts, so he couldn't call her. He followed her car because he wanted to see her, hoping fate would bring them together without a plan. Sumin vents her anger fully. Then she asks what he wants to say now that they've met by chance. Song finally confesses, "I love you," and kisses her. Just then, they hear the sound of bees. Song grabs Sumin's hand, and they start running away together, just like they did when they first met. And with this, the drama ends. Thanks for watching.